Hey minions, welcome to Crank It Up. I'm Jim Price, and on this episode of King of the Hill, I want to talk about the secret agent of the Super Spies. If you played the Spies, or if you've played against them, you know what this card does. Ongoing, after another player plays an action, he or she must discard a card. For an extremely memorable ability, this card is surprisingly misunderstood. I have to explain this often. Discarding a card is the result of playing an action, not a prerequisite. There are cards that require a card to be discarded first. This is not one of them. And it's every action, not just the first. It doesn't matter when it was played, it's quite simple. Anyone other than you playing an action, regardless of when or how, discards a card after. You should be manipulating your deck to get to this card early and often. It's easy to see why when you see the impact. Why do I put such an emphasis on this card? Because it completely shuts down entire factions, and not just any factions, some of the most powerful in the game. The Secret Agent is one of the key reasons why I believe Smash Up is a game of drafting. If I'm being honest, I don't know that I would ever take Spies first, unless I was in the mood for playing them. But against certain factions, this might be my number one counter pick. For the longest time, I felt that Mythic Greeks were one of the strongest factions in the game, a top 5 pick. Maybe this isn't true anymore, but they always strike fear. But the Secret Agent destroys them. The Greeks play actions every turn because they want their Spartan bonuses, so they will discard a card at least once a turn. The Argonauts will trigger discards with their minion play because they trigger all abilities that would trigger from playing an action, which includes the Secret Agent. Favor of Dionysius becomes almost impossible to recur because you are discarding a card each time and drawing the same card, practically nullifying your card draw. The Kaiju onslaught of actions is very hard to counter because, while many factions can deal with one or two actions, the sheer volume of actions goes unscathed, and nearly every card in the deck adds power. But now 17 actions of one faction trigger Secret Agent, which basically erases half of your deck. There were times when I thought the Secret Agent didn't combat the Cyborg Apes because the Cyborg Apes tend to have spare minions. However, the other spy cards attack and discard those minions, which makes it really hard to have cards to spare. The Cyborg Apes rely on their actions to achieve great power levels, and restricting enough cards from their hands will eventually bleed into their actions and counter their card draw. Given that they have multiple baboons who can play extra actions, you may bleed them of any actual cards to play. The wizards may not be as strong as the first three, but they draw many cards and play many actions, some of which are to draw cards. The Secret Agent depowers the Arcane Protector significantly and makes it harder to actually have the actual quantity of cards necessary to play it. When you reduce the wizard card draw and make their extra actions less desirable, you are left with an extremely below average power faction that doesn't add direct power. The All-Stars can seemingly play half of their cards on any given turn. With the Secret Agent, they have the opportunity to discard the other half. They may get one awesome turn, but they will inherit several rebuilding turns. So the impact is clear. In the best case, the Secret Agent is crippling and the perfect counter. In the other cases, the Secret Agent is a persistent annoyance that is sure to get the attention of other players. This is why it's important to hunt for the Secret Agent as quickly as possible, assuming you cannot grab it with a mild-mannered citizen. If you play for my eyes only, you need a very good reason to not put all 5 of those cards on the bottom to expedite your Secret Agent retrieval by 2.5 turns. The Spy can accelerate retrieval by 1.5 turns. Sure, you have other good cards, but are they better than the Secret Agent, a necessity for this faction? The Spies need the Secret Agent because they are inherently a slow faction. As I mentioned in their Titan video, they were the first faction to not, in Phase 2, provide any extra plays, power boosts, or minion removal. A slow faction needs to slow down the game, and the Secret Agent really shines in that regard. It's one of the few king minions that does not directly help you win or swing a base. The Secret Agent exists to annoy and to annoy excessively well, and he does that. Once you find the Secret Agent, the next key is keeping him in play. Play the Secret Agent on the most undesirable base possible, preferably a ninja base. Alternatives include a high breakpoint base that only offers one less VP than the winner. You ensure yourself a high floor in terms of reward, while also potentially winning the base with your Phase 3 specials. Pair the spies with factions that have high minion recursion so that the secret agent can remain in play all game. Could you imagine the secret agent with Eternal Hero? Hero would not be the word I would use in that situation. You know I don't like mentioning zombies unless it's absolutely necessary, and zombie spies will flood all the discard piles, not just your own. Remember that the superheroes also have recursion with Golden Age in addition to their searching. Even the time travelers have ways of recycling the secret agent, using do-over to move the secret agent from a contested base to an empty base, relying on recycling the spy specials to deal with the loss of power. They can also shuffle in all of their minions back. The secret agent is a simple ability with a large statement. Make opponents discard cards, because discarding cards is almost always good when done to your opponents. I would be remiss if I didn't mention how this helps ghosts, but the truth is that I don't think the ghosts necessarily need the help. The ghosts don't play as many actions as you think, and a key part of ghost strategies is having flexibility in how you get rid of your cards. I also think it can hurt the ghosts by forcing their hauntings to activate, allowing me to make use of their power. The golden rule of ghosts, unless you're me, is to not keep your hand small at all times, and the secret agent does that. I think it's fair to say that it forces the ghost player to go all in or go all out, and that doesn't necessarily translate into an advantage. Your experience with the super spies is directly related to how well you get to use the secret agent. Be sure to use the spy cards to maximize your retrieval, and you will have a lot of fun. Your opponents won't, but you will. What do you think of the secret agent? Let me know in the comments. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's shut it down.